Welcome to Killer Creatures, where we dig in and dissect murderous monsters from some of our favorite films and rate them on our threat level meter. I'm Mike Lenzini, and in this episode we take a look at a gigantic, gelatinous gob of goob from the 1988 remake, The Blob.
Barricade all the entrances!
The Blob is co-written and directed by Chuck Russell, the man who 1 year prior made his directorial debut with my favorite installment of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, Part 3 Dream Warriors. With The Blob, Russell introduces a new audience to the sci-fi horror tale of a bacteria or entity from outer space that consumes its prey in a violent and delightfully disgusting way while rapidly expanding to digest everything in its path. With the 88 remake of The Blob, director Chuck Russell offers up an interesting twist on the origins of this creature. What Russell gives us here is still a deadly creature from outer space, but in this case it's an experimental virus from Earth that was purposely sent into space by the government to see how it would be affected by the unique conditions up there.
That's not unusual, is it?
Their hope and purpose for this experiment seems to be to create something that the military could weaponize against their only true threat that existed in the 1980s, the Russians.
This will put U.S. defense years ahead of the Russians.
Well, your meteor brought something, all right. But if it's a germ, it's the biggest son of a bitch you've ever seen.
So let's get down to it. How big a threat does the Blob actually pose to humanity?
As far as the locals are concerned, this is simply a medical quarantine.
And is this giant slime ball something we should really be concerned with? As always, there are two major factors at play here: the human element and the creature dilemma.
Give me Herb! Get Herb, kill her!
He went down to the diner.
At first, everything seems to be in place for this menace to be contained with a minimal body count. The government knows what it is, and at this point it is simply an experiment with the population of the small town of Arborville used as its guinea pigs. Where things really go south here is when the man in charge, Dr. Meadows,
Who the hell are you people?
I'm Dr. Meadows.
quickly becomes so enamored by his creation and by the success of his experiment that he immediately loses sight of what is occurring and the threat this monstrosity truly poses.
Sir, the organism is growing at a geometric rate. By all accounts, it's at least 1,000 times its original mass.
In doing so, he underestimates the challenge of containing this creature long term, and the question that was left unknown for me is, can the Blob be destroyed? What we do learn is that this mushy monster doesn't like the cold, and it can be frozen into submission.
It's so cold! I can't stand the cold!
However, at the end of the film, when the Doomsday Preacher reveals that the frozen bits of the Blob he had snagged earlier have thawed back out and are very much alive, this suggests that this is only a matter of time until the Blob is back consuming everything in its path. So all these things considered, I'm giving the Blob a 4 on a threat level meter. The fact that we are unsure how to destroy this creature and the ease that it has devouring any living thing in its path while rapidly growing possess a threat that may well be unmanageable. So what do you guys think? Is the Blob worthy of a level 4? Or do you think that the government will be able to quickly deploy a fleet of snowmakers to any location on Earth and then blow them up to freeze the Blob back into submission? Let's argue and debate this in the comment section below. Also, please be sure to like and share this video with your friends, click that subscribe button, and hit that bell for notifications so you can be alerted every time we post new videos. We'll see you next time.